So you guys asked me to show you how I sell my products on Facebook. So let's talk about it today on Salty Woodworking. I asked in my last video if you guys wanted a video on how I sell on Facebook, and almost every single comment that was left on that video said yes. So here it is. If you've been part of my channel for a while, you know that I've had success selling through Facebook, especially with planter boxes. Now, it's not spring anymore, so planter boxes are not selling, but I'm going to use that as an example today on how I had such a successful, spring, basically, it was a few months, with this listing. And what I did that differed from other people in my area that had the same product, but I was getting majority of the business. And just for example, during the spring, I was making around $4,000 to $5,000 a month just from selling planter boxes on Facebook. I didn't ship any. I delivered some that were locally, but everything was just local, all through Facebook, and that was it. So it is definitely possible to make money from woodworking through Facebook. You just gotta put the time in. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way before we get started. Results are gonna vary depending on where you live. You know, if you live in the middle of nowhere, you might not be as successful as somebody that lives in the city that has a bigger population. Also, the time of the year depends. I mean, Christmas just got done, so a lot of people are recouping their money from Christmas. So it just kind of depends on where you're at, but everything that I mentioned in this video should at least help you out. There are some very helpful things that I'm going to be going over throughout this video, so get your notepad out and let's go to school. I'm going to put a picture up of my ad that I use for my planter boxes here, and we're going to go over each aspect of the listing and what I did different from other people, all the way from the picture to the price to the description, from other tips and tricks to get your listing out there more, and basically everything like that. So let's get started with pricing. Now, the majority of the listings that I put on Facebook aren't for one singular project. They're all the same realm of projects, but they have different listings. So like for my planter boxes, I had one general listing for all my planter boxes, even though you could buy them in different sizes. So for my pricing for that, I would put $35 as my price because that was the cheapest box I sold. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, there are some downsides. It's kind of like a double-edged sword with doing that. You're gonna get more clicks and more messages on your listing because of that, but you're gonna get a lot of people that message you because they see a picture of a big planter box and they think they're getting that for $35. But if you're good at sales and good at kind of talking with people, you can divert that conversation and explain to them why it's worth the money to get the bigger box instead of a $35 one. Now, for example, the $35 box I was selling was a small 13 by 13 inch, but in my description, I had multiple listings of all the different size planter boxes I was offering and their prices, but we're gonna go over the description in a little bit later. The only other downside about posting your listing as your cheapest price that you have to offer, a lot of people are gonna message you without reading the description, without reading anything, just seeing that cheapest price and messaging you thinking they're getting the best of what you're offering for that price. But I'd rather get a lot more messages and then talk to them and develop a relationship with that person, and you could potentially get them to become a client for other things or get them into the product they really wanted for that price. It just opens the conversation, because I've had listings before that say for a big planter box, like, I don't know, a 5 or 6 foot one we're just going to use for example, and say I was selling that for $200. Not many people are going to message you because they see that price and immediately go, nope, it's not worth that. But if you can get them in the door and start the conversation, it's all part of being a salesman. You got to sell the product to them, which is kind of a big part of, selling anything in general, but it kind of just comes with the grounds of wanting to make money with woodworking. You got to be able to sell the product. So for example, all the planter boxes I was making was out of cedar, which cedar has a lot of benefits to use as a planter with them being outdoor. It doesn't rot. It's supposed to resist bugs pretty well. They last well outside. There's tons of different benefits that you can talk to the client about and get them into that sale. So that's really what it's about, is you got to know what your product is strong in and what the reason they should be spending the money to buy it, especially from you. Tell them how strong you make it or whatever it is. Just start that conversation and get them in the door and make that upsell to get more money in your pocket. Now, the title and the description is pretty simple. I mean, really, you just put the title as what it is. Like for planter boxes, I did cedar planter boxes. That was it. The description is where you want to put a lot more information. So for the planter boxes, I was making them to order. Every now and then I would have some ready because people would cancel, but most of them were made to order. So that was the first thing that I put in my description, was made to order. And then underneath that, I had some various sizes that I was making at the time and the prices for them. Now, I was also offering custom sized boxes. So if somebody messaged me and said they wanted a 20 by 20 foot box, if they were willing to pay the money, I was making it. So I put that in the description too, and majority of the orders I got were actually custom sizes. So if you are open to that, definitely add that in there, because if you only set a certain amount of sizes for whatever product is you're trying to make, some people are going to click off of it just because they don't see the size they want. But if you're a woodworker, you can make it whatever you want. Of course, unless it's a product that you've already made and you're just trying to sell. Now, for that, my next 2 tips are the biggest tips that I can give you that help me out the most. My absolute number 1 tip to give you guys is pictures. High quality pictures alone will sell your product to the right person. Because if you just have some pictures that, and I hate to say it because a lot of people like to take pictures in their workshop, it's not the most attractive thing in the customer's eye, because what the customer wants to see is how is this going to look in whatever application it is. So for planter boxes, I'll post some of the pictures here that I was using, and you can see that I was using pictures of planter boxes that already had plants in them, that were in a garden, and exactly how it would look in their backyard. And that goes for anything. If you're selling a nightstand, go put it in your bedroom, stage it, make it look like it actually lives there, and take high quality photos of it. Most phones nowadays can take insanely ridiculously high quality photos, There's no excuse to not use the good photos if you can. Now, I know not everybody's tech savvy and some people struggle with, technical stuff and whatnot, but just take your time, watch some other YouTube videos about how to take good pictures with your phone, or if you have a camera, use that. And just the biggest thing is good lighting. You have good lighting, you stage them well, the product will sell itself for the most part. Because I'm telling you, I've had different listings where it was just pictures in my workshop and it didn't perform anywhere near as well as staged pictures. That is honestly my number 1 tip, is pictures. So many people will click on it just because they see a good picture and it in their head it's exactly what they want to see. So take the time, go watch some other YouTube videos and learn how to get good pictures and do good staging. I'm telling you, it's the biggest game changer. Now let me just say before I get into my final tip, if you feel like I have earned it, if you feel like you've learned something, please drop a sub on the channel. It helps me grow, helps me get out to a bigger audience, and leave a like. It helps out way more than you think. Let's move on to my last topic. Now my last tip I want to talk about is Facebook groups. Almost everyone, everywhere you live, has some kind of community groups that you can join, regardless if it's just like a nosy neighbor kind of group or actual marketing groups like a backyard sale one. Just for example, garage sale group. Like there's tons of those in my area. Join those and share your listing. It helps out a ton because the biggest and best advertisement you can ever get is word of mouth. So if you build yourself a reputation with inside your community that you're making great products, those people are going to tell their friends are going to tell their friends. Word of mouth is more powerful than any kind of advertisement you can ever put out there. So Facebook groups can be a very, very powerful tool to use. Now, I know there's some people that will pay for ads in order to put their listing higher up on the marketplace and whatnot. I've never done it myself just because I never felt it was necessary. In my opinion, I'm trying to do the legwork and get my listing out to as many people as I can just through using Facebook itself. So I never wanted to pay for it just because, I'm cheap with a lot of things. I'm not trying to spend money unless I have to. So if I can get customers for free, that's the way I'm going to do it. Look in your area, see what kind of groups that you have in your area, join them and share your listings into them. Get your family and friends to share them. Get everybody you know to share them. I promise you, it'll get out there, and once you get one person to buy something from you, get them to tell their friends. Get them to post on their Facebook about it. Make a page dedicated to your woodworking. That can help out too. Now, I use my personal page for everything, and I just post on that, but to each their own. It's all kind of however you want to play it out. At the end of the day, woodworking is not all about making money. Most of us are in it for just a hobby. Now, if you can make money from it too, why would you not want to? You can use it to upgrade your tools and stuff like that. I mean, that's what I did with my entire shop. Everything in here has been through selling products on Facebook for the most part. But at the end of the day, for most of us, it's a hobby we love. And don't forget that. If you don't get sales, do not get frustrated and think that you're a bad creator just because of that. Just because something doesn't sell doesn't mean that you're a bad creator or that it's a bad product. Sometimes it's just, depending on where you're at, depending on how the economy is. Some things just aren't going to sell as well as others. Some you might sit on for a year. Some might sell in 20 seconds after you post it on Facebook. It all depends. With that being said, get out in your shop, do what you normally love to do, get out there, build something, and as always, stay salty.